Hello, good morning, and welcome to Good Morning Port Harcourt, coming to you live from Silverbird Television, right here in Port Harcourt. How are you doing this beautiful morning? I hope you had a good night and you're ready with us this morning. What do we do here every morning from 11 a.m. to 12 noon? We round off the news to you in such a way that you get to understand it. We analyze the news, we look at the top stories, and then of course we fuse the newspapers and all that. And today is Tuesday. On Tuesdays, we allow you, the viewer, that chance to be a part of what we do here. We call Tuesdays Opinion Pool. After we're done analyzing the news and telling you what's happening, you also bring the news to us, and that's by letting us know what's happening in your area and what you really don't like going on in Nigeria that you want to have a say about. It's called Public Opinion Poll and Eyewitness Report. Welcome to Good Morning Port Harcourt. My name is Deborah Balama. When we come back from this break, we'll unfold all that we have packaged for you today. Stay with us.
Good morning, my neighbor. How are you doing? Are you feeling okay? Good morning, my neighbor. How are you doing?
World from Black Africa. Only one pageant births 5 titles in one night. Only one pageant stands out consistently from the rest. Because when it's all said and done, there can only be truly one. The most beautiful girl in Nigeria, Africa's most prestigious beauty pageant, is here again. Get your forms now for the 34th edition of the MBGN. To register, visit www.mbgnsilverbird.com or follow our social media handles at SilverbirdMBGN on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for details. Don't be told, you can be the one. MBGN, the true essence of beauty.
Good morning, my neighbor.
Are you set?
Yes, you're welcome back to Good Morning Port Harcourt, and this is that point where we get to bring you the news, and today we have quite a lot packaged for you on the news corner. Good morning, Barrister. How are you doing?
Good morning, Debbie. I'm fine, thank you.
Is today like a red day?
Maybe we're tuning with the same thing. I'm red and you're red. It's beautiful that way.
Yeah, it's actually very beautiful. All right, let's go over to the news. I'd like you to start today on the headlines, which of course we've used the newspaper together with, of course, other
trending stories. Okay, on Daily Trust, IPOB kills women, 4 kids, 6 other Northerners in Anambra. Militants of the outlaw indigenous people of Biafra IPOB on Sunday killed a woman, have 4 children and 6 others, all in the same state. And militants of the outlaw indigenous people of Biafra on Sunday killed a woman, like I said, and have 4 children, and it's becoming a problem because the people, the Northerners in Anambra, are planning on taking their people back to their state, saying the Igbo are trying to kill off their people out of the state, so they are trying to move because the lady in question who was gunned down with her children, it's not from Anambra to start with, she's a Northerner. So that's what's been trending, and the video is gory. I can't watch it. That's what happened on Daily Trust.
Oh, that's quite unfortunate. Quite unfortunate. And then we go over to Daily Independent, where we have that, of course, it's the main headliner there you would find. Signing amended Electoral Act may trigger political crisis. Election monitoring groups say it's too late now, and fear of litigation can derail 2023 general elections. So if you followed the morning show yesterday, we did talk about this. It was a major issue. We had a lawyer in the studio yesterday. And we looked at what is the use to bring in of course, signing that amended Electoral Act at this point when PDP is already almost done with theirs. Yesterday they had their senatorial elections. On Sunday. They had their House of Assembly and House of Rep elections. So, okay, so what would be the need at this point? And the lawyer cited the fact that if they go ahead to still sign it, it will either mean two things: that they will have to redo all the elections that have been done with the PDP, and that wouldn't be good at all. Or if the APC goes ahead to use that formula, you might find the PDP actually filing some cases in court to challenge the signage of the bill and the fact that it came in late and it should be null and void. At this point, the status quo should remain the same. This is part of what we talked about yesterday. And we'll go to another headliner there that talks about, of course, the consensus candidature of the All Progressives Congress. And right here we have that nobody can persuade Tinubu to step down. You're aware that yesterday the president had a meeting with the aspirants, and though there was no particular press coverage where the president spoke about it, but at some point it was after the meeting we heard from feelers that the meeting was actually about Tinubu and Oshibanjo being told to step down. And this also was on the front burner of our discussions yesterday. We had an analyst in the house, and we talked about the fact that Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu might not really want to step down for anybody. He is in this race more like this is about him winning. You know, in the time past, he would negotiate and bring someone for deputy and all that. This time around, it looks like he really wants to be president.
He doesn't want to
he wants to be president. So it will be really difficult. I don't know how that consensus thing is going to work out. But don't forget, there's also a column in their governorship, beg your pardon, their presidential forms that they actually did fill a withdrawal form as well and signed it, a voluntary withdrawal. That is to say that at some point, if the party insists on a consensus, they might be their hands might be tied to go to court. But you know this legal war, you can never tell. There might just be one escape route from somewhere, you know.
At one point or the other.
Exactly. So what do we have next?
Okay, on the Punch, Lagos, Borno lose jumbo delegate. Again party, shift senatorial pool. Then Kano, Katsina, Oshun, Oyo, and Akwa Ibom, 5 others command numerical strength. Why Buhari meets aspirant on Wednesday. Report post resumption over primaries. That's what we'll have on it.
Okay, well, you can see that the meetings are still going on.
It's still ongoing. They're still talking about it.
Of course. And, well, if you look at the APC, for the first time, everything remains like a mystery. Even if you come back home to Rivers State, this period, elections are not really very predictable in Rivers and at the national level for the APC, both for the APC and even the PDP.
Okay.
You can just see something that you didn't project happening on the day of the
without you
primaries.
even having knowledge of it.
Yes, in both the PDP and the APC. What do we have on this day? It's about politics all the way. And on this day, we have as the major headliner there that it's a 4-horse race. What does this mean? Okay, right here you would see the faces of Atiku, Peter Obi, Bukola Saraki, and then Governor Nyesom Wike, all here, and how PDP delegates may vote in presidential primary. This could be a columnist report on perhaps their projection and analysis. So for you to get the in-depth of that, what the writer means by a 4-horse race, you will need to grab a copy of this day to do that.
Okay, on this Nigeria, Soludo declares war on agitators. Withdraw amnesty to gunmen. You know what has been going on or brewing in Anambra State. The killing. But one thing I keep saying is, if IPOB really want their own country, then why are you putting your state in a bad light? How will the Nigerian government decide to give you amnesty at some point? Because now they're not just killing the Northerners, which I don't even accept. They're killing both Igbo people. And Soludo is not happy. Now, don't even forget that the lawmaker that was beheaded some days ago, it's something not to write home about, because at this point, I'm expecting the Biafra to come together and bring peace. States were used to be peaceful. Now, at the end of the day,
I don't think there's any. I don't think you should refer to them as Biafra.
Oh my God. Okay, they are not Biafras anymore. Okay, they are not. But at the end of the day, the governor of the state is not happy and he's really angry about it, and he's looking for ways, any way available to shut down this and bring down peace to the state.
Okay, well, you're aware that in Anambra State, at some point during the electioneering period, they brought in Charles Soludo as governor of Anambra State. At some point, he reached some kind of compromise with these agitators, people that have been prescribed as of course, indigenous people of Biafra, which, of course, is prescribed at this time as a terrorist group. However, Soludo had meetings with them alongside the outgone governor, Obiano, and they all agreed that there was going to be a ceasefire and the kidnaps and all that was going to cease, and they gave them some sort of amnesty. And they said, okay, at this point, let's all come together and build Anambra State. But after the elections were over, after a little bit, the IPOB decided to hit back, and this time around they're saying that looking at the fact that Nnamdi Kanu is still being held by the Nigerian government in custody, and that there seems to be nothing being said about whether he's going to come out or not. So the agitation basically is revolving around Nnamdi Kanu's arrest.
So the agitation is over around his arrest.
Yes,
so they have
basically
to keep
that is the no. What I'm trying to say is giving a background to what's happening in Anambra State.
Okay.
And I'm saying that at this juncture, they have actually released a statement saying their targets are basically politicians. They are going to be hunting down the House of Assembly members, and this threat had been issued earlier on. The question would be, why wasn't this threat taken seriously? Or why didn't the government step forward to ensure tighter security for these members that had already been threatened? Okay, did they have to wait for Honorable Okechukwu to be beheaded first? You know, it's not just him. There's also Krista, another member of the House of Assembly, also that was also killed. You know, but what you hear from quarters is that Charles Soludo doesn't seem very prepared to handle a state with a mounting insecurity problem at this time. And that you cannot really blame people who say this, because before he came into office, he already knew that this was brewing, and he must have had a plan. What was his plan B? If the amnesty failed, what was his other plan on how to handle this? What was his other plan to handle this? So that's it, basically. And we go over to Nigeria Tribune, and on Nigeria Tribune, we have there that PDP NAS primaries, which of course you know yesterday the 23rd was 23rd of May was a day for the senatorial primaries of PDP, and well, that happened all over Nigeria. And from Lagos State, we have that Banky W is going to be going to the House of Representatives to represent his people. And then we'll have Otom also. Otom is the president governor of Benue State. He also won his senatorial election. What were you expecting anyways?
Nothing less than that.
Well, and then of course Ango Abdullahi's son, Tebe and Ned Woko, they all won their senatorial election. Let's look at Ned Woko. Of course, you know that Ned Woko was in the Senate and was unseated from office from his stool in the senatorial. There was a court injunction that unseat him, and the other opposition person won him in court, and so he had to step down and then lost his seat. Well, he has regained it again this time, and we do hope that the election will be free and fair, so that nobody will unseat him again in court.
Hopefully it should be free and fair. on News Direct, 36 governors lose suit to federal government on local government financial autonomy. Then also on that same story, newspaper, APC primaries, anxiety in ruling party as NWC readjusts elections timetable again.
And then we go to the Guardian, where we have that 2023 presidency APC to screen prune numbers of aspirants. Well, you will get to read that paper to understand what they mean by this analysis. Well, it went further to explain that fire me only 5 aspirants are serious. That's what this Fire Me is actually saying. And then you go further, Wajuba backs party on controversial letter of withdrawal. And then of course Ohanes Ndibo upbeat about the Igbo producing the next president. This and more you find in the Guardian. And then, well, if you look at the headline, which of course says the APC to screen prune number of aspirants, it means that they're trying to reduce the number to the barest before they can screen. So you can hear Of course, the speculations that they might have asked Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu to step down, and of course, they also have asked Oshibanjo, the VP, to step down. We don't know how correct this is because this is not coming directly from the president, but these are speculations by reporters who were privileged to have some sort of info from how the meeting went. Well, if you look at it now, you see, okay, we'll be expecting that, since they have zoned it to the south, maybe we'll be hearing more of telling the northern candidates to step down. But we didn't hear that, and these are just the two. It's being rumored that it's been asked to step down. Well, this might just leave it to just the southeast and the south. And maybe we might also have a situation where the northerners will also be asked to step down. So are they narrowing the ticket to just contenders from the south and southeast? We don't know that until we get an official statement from the party to know where this whole consensus thing is heading to.
Okay, on Punch Extra, Nigeria ranked 11 in Europe this season. Nigeria players have been involved in some of this league, while others play in relatively minor leagues in Europe. Some of the stars had a decent season, doing well for themselves and helping their team achieve significant feats. Now, Soccer Market takes a look at some of these stars and make a team from Nigeria best performance abroad. So it's beautiful that at least Nigeria ranked 11 when it comes to the Europe League. That's a good one for us.
And while the leadership is speculating, this is very interesting. That of course, looking at the APC presidential primaries, and of course, who's going to be the flag bearer of the party, Ogbonnayonu may be Buhari's dark horse.
Wow.
This is interesting.
It's quite interesting.
Speculations and speculations and speculations. Although, no, of course, Ogbonnayonu is a former minister who just resigned to run for presidency. And as you can see, it looks as though it is looking like he might have the blessings of the party. Well, this same rumor hovers around Rotimi Chibuike. This same rumor hovers around Goodluck Jonathan, who were not even sure submitted the form. So much speculation.
So much for being a good son that will, at the end of the day, succeed the president. So let's see how it goes.
Well, anyway, we will just be looking out for that. And then on The Nation, that's the last paper we're taking on the newspaper headlines. The Nation says APC primary Buhari aspirants, governors for high-level talks. They are going to be having high-level talks. You already know that there seems to be a consensus brewing in the APC, and we don't know how that's going to turn out. Would that be a consensus to reduce the number to a particular number and they all go to the primary to slug it out? Or will there be a consensus where just one person would be allowed to run unopposed? That's what we don't know. Time alone will tell. By the way, the APC has actually released now a short timetable for their elections, and I'm going to read exactly the press release coming from the All Progressives Congress National Office, and it says revised APC timetable for 2023 primary elections. And it says the National Working Committee NWC of All Progressives Congress APC on Monday the 23rd of May 2022 approved a revised timetable schedule of activities for the governorship, state, House of Assembly, Senate and House of Representatives primary elections. And he went further to say that the new timetable, the revised timetable now, and this one is static. They are saying this is going to be what it is. It will be changed again. So it's Thursday, 26th of May, 2022 for governorship, state delegates, State House of Assembly, LGA delegates. These are people that are going to be voting. Now for the state assembly, you're going to be having just the LGA delegates, which means they are rolling with the status quo as the constitution is, on the electoral amended acts as at March. All right, so that's what they're really with. So there won't be statutory delegates, it's just the LG delegates. And then on Friday, 27th of May 2022, you have the senatorial elections, and this one also will feature the LG delegates. And then you go further to Saturday, the 28th of May 2022, House of Representatives, where the LG delegates will be voting. And then you go further, of course, you would see that they say that notes that the special convention for the presidential primary will be held as scheduled on Sunday the 29th. It will cross into Monday the 30th of May 2022, and this one is going to be they didn't quite say the people who will be voting, but I know definitely it will be, of course, the national delegates, which of course is made up of one one delegate per local government, and of course I don't know whether there will be a mixture of it, but they didn't quite state that.
They didn't state that.
Yeah, so that's the release as signed by the spokesperson for the APC, the National Publicity Secretary of the APC, Felix Moka, and that's it. We go over to news coming from River State, and River State, so much is happening in River State.
A lot has been happening.
Well, there are fears that the governor might have anointed someone to take over from him. I mean, if he gets to win at the general elections anyways. Well, the governor Nyesom Wike, it was very strong indications that there were meetings that held yesterday where Governor Wike called a name as the person that he has decided to give the party ticket to. Well, that didn't go down well with a lot of people. I was reliably informed that some of them walked out of the meeting on hearing this. He had a meeting with some of the aspirants and top stakeholders. And you know, of course, we have the likes of Bumaya running for this election who were screened. We'll have Tammy Winike Danago, the SSG of the state at this time. We'll have Felix Sobua, who was also the Riwama boss. We also have Austin Okpara, who was a former deputy speaker of the House of Representatives. I can name them, okay? But in this all, the accountant general of the state, the person who is in charge of finances, who has been having some battles up and down with the EFCC, is the person the governor has decided, rumored, because there is no official statement from the governor yet, but very strong, reliable sources reveal that Nyesom Wike may have anointed Ama Opusenebo Seminia Lai Fubara. He is presently in charge of finances for the state. What you can call the accountant general for the state. That's the person that this has been given to by the governor. But
it's
the way it's going with the party
yet. But one thing you should know is that some persons have been loyal, faithful, party loyals and party faithful. Now, the governor is one person that has his own mind and he does his own thing the way he wants to do it. He's a man of his own word, a man of action. If they're expecting him at some point to choose them, and finally, as you're saying, not official statement hasn't come from him, and he want to choose another person, definitely nobody will be happy. This thing happened.
Well, you know, I keep wondering why at the national these same people are gunning for free and fair election.
Okay.
If you look at the APC, nobody wants to be outplayed. Even Governor Nyesom Wike wants a fair landing for him, so he's been going around the campaign canvassing for delegates. You know, you wouldn't feel fine too if 2 days to, of course, you know, the governorship election, primary election is tomorrow. It's tomorrow, 25th of May. And how would you feel if 2 days to the election you're called into a meeting and of course told that you have to step down for a particular person after you had gone through the stress of delegate campaigning and all that, you know? So, well, you know, these things are like a give and take. You understand? Don't give what you cannot collect from other people. Well, I don't know how true that is, but if this is anything to go by, the governor may have a candidate who is shortly called Sim Fubara. From the understanding, he should be from the Opobo side of River State. Well, that's what it is. Well, looks like the other members of the party are not happy with this, as strong, reliable sources did disclose to me that some of them walked out of that meeting. Well, this is not just all coming from the River State. There seems to be more drama brewing, as of course a court order from Abuja, a federal high court in Abuja, has given an order asking for the Independent National Electoral Commission and, of course, PDP to explain why Farah Dagogo's name, who has been in detention for a while now in the correctional center, why his name should be exempted from the what's it called, the list for primary people who are contested for primary. He legally bought the form and submitted and has a copy proof that he is supposed to be in the process. And from all we know, he wasn't screened, because at arrival at the screening center, he was picked up by the police and he was held in the police custody for a while. And after that, he was taken to court, and then eventually the second hearing of the court, the second hearing, he was remanded in the correctional center, Port Harcourt. Wow. Well, I'm just going to read the full story to you, and it says the Federal High Court sitting in Abuja and presided over by Justice Taiwo has ordered the People's Democratic Party, the PDP, and the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, to show reasons why the PDP's governorship primary should hold in River State without the embattled aspirant Dr. Farah Dagogo included. Now, Dr. Farah Dagogo is presently the person representing Degema Opobo, I beg your pardon, Degema Boni in the Federal House of Representatives at this time. And of course, the court went ahead to say that they need to understand why this particular person is being exempted from the list of people who are going to contest. And of course, you also know that you might find a situation because his legal counsel actually did ask for bail the last time, but they said they're going to be hearing more on that particular plea in their next hearing. And if it gets to the next hearing, I might not be surprised if he's granted bail, because at that particular chaos that ensued, nobody died. So it's not a murder case. It's just accusations on the fact that he might be involved a little bit in cultism and all that. So we don't know what's going to be like. And the primary is tomorrow. He's still held in prison. So it means he's not going to be participating. That is really scary because it leaves a space. And
it leaves a space, just like his media person said the other time, or before this time, saying this is just a way to cripple him and cripple his career.
That's what they allegedly.
That's what they allegedly say. But that's why it's almost plain, because he can't even go. He wasn't screened, and he's not there for the primary. So what is he going to do at the end of the day?
Well,
even if it's grant bail free, what's it going to do?
Well, there have been situations where people voted in the absenteeism of the candidates in most cases.
Yeah.
But I think the court is asking for basically for the party to interpret to them why is this man's name
been held?
Why the man's name is exempted from the primary list. People who are contesting for the primary, his name is not included, and this is not going to go well, because if that happens, you can have the court could have a ground to call off that election, and we don't know when that would be. So that is, you might find a situation where somebody will finish winning the governorship and win,
cancelled.
and then at the end of the day,
the court will
a
just
miracle will just happen, and then the other person who didn't win will become governor of River State. It's not the first time it's played.
It's not the first time, though. It's not.
Okay, well, that's the much we can say. But before we go, I'll just also let you know that the deputy governor of River State She also won her senatorial election of the Rivers West Senatorial District. Of course, that she hails from Aristown in Degema local government. Her Excellency Dr. Epalebo Harry Banigo, deputy governor of River State, was declared yesterday the winner of and returned as elected for the party primary. She has just clinched the Rivers West Senatorial District seat to be representing her party at the general election next year. She has been really quite loyal, so to say. She's heard from her.
Person didn't hear anything from her, but I guess that's her personality.
Well, maybe that's what's earning her this seat,
right?
Maybe because she was loyal, only talked when she was allowed to talk. And maybe that's why. The politics, if you look at what played out in the APC, it is now looking like you hand the battle or the mantle over to someone who is loyal to you. So it's not governorship is more like a payback now. Something that concerns millions of lives, at least over 10 million lives in River State, is being handed over to people on a platter of, this one was loyal to me. He worked well as my staff, or worked well as
he's going to do well if I put him here.
This is how politics is seen right now in Nigeria, and I don't find that funny, because you cannot be using your personal experience to say this person can govern over the whole of River State, because what are the antecedents? What can they offer? Are they prepared for this? Do they have goals? Do they have aspirations? Do they have plans? Do they have agenda for the state? Nobody talks about this.
It feels like loyalty is just a yardstick for them to clinch another position in that sense.
That's what it looks like, and the basis is that loyalty to just one person. That's making it look very autocratic and looking like a stereotype thing.
No,
we need to break out from that level. I mean, especially for a state like River State that ought to be an urban state at this point. Look at what Lagos State is. We look at Lagos State, it's still the same thing in Lagos State, but however, luckily they seem to have put people who understand where Lagos State is going, and they followed suit.
People that has the vision. One thing is following suit. I feel, for the fact you're PDP or APC, whatever party you are, if this person should stop ruling, you should continue the good work from that other person, because at the end of the day, it's still the good of the state, the good of the country.
Okay, well, that's the much you can take this morning on the bringing you, of course, the headlines of the news and looking at what's happening in River State and Nigeria. And well, you can see so much drama going on in the polity of River State. And of course, it's not the APC is not even left out. It's a little drama brewing there from, of course, the Magnus Abe supporter and as well the Amechi supporter. So it's so much going on in the polity. We'll take a break. When we come back on Good Morning Port Harcourt, we'll actually be looking at several issues. What do you want to talk about? You heard us talk about all the headlines. You look at, of course, tomorrow is the governorship primary for the PDP, and Farah Dagogo is seeming to be excluded from the primary, even when he bought form and everything. And would you like to comment on that, or would you also like to look at what's going on generally in the political parties in River State? The fact that one person wants to institute what's going to happen the next time, and they have forgotten that godfatherism does not work in the south and in the south.
It doesn't last long, even if you
it
want to raise
it doesn't work. Seriously, they should stop trying. All right, well, we'll take a break. When we come back, the show continues. Remember, you'll be part of the show at that point. You call in and let us know your opinion and what's happening in your vicinity. We'd like to know, because when you tell us, we'll be able to scream it for the relevant authority to come to your rescue and, of course, do something about it. And you also need to have a say in the governance of Nigeria. Join us after this break. Stay with us. Okay, glad to know that you're still there with us. It's still Good Morning Port Harcourt, and this is the point of the program that we let you have a say in what goes on in Nigeria. Quite a lot in the polity. Of course, we look at, of course, the fact that the PDP have started their processes, and so far it seemed to be that it's alleged that one man made the decision for every position placement. And also there are allegations that he might also have anointed somebody to take over from him. The fate of the whole River State might just be lying on the decision of one person. That's what if these allegations are anything to go by. Well, there are strong indications that the governor of River State may have an anointed person in mind to take over from him, well, if he wins the general election. And of course, you also see the same thing playing out in the APC, where, of course, there was an acclaimed elders meeting where one person was also picked to also be some sort of consensus candidate. Well, that didn't go well in the APC as well, because you have other people who have also now pop up to say they are running for this election, regardless of that gentleman arrangement they had. Well, so today on the public opinion poll, we look at these matters that are rising, and then of course we also get to look at what is happening in your environment. What is that thing that you've noticed that you do not like, you see going on in River State, and you want to talk about it? You have the number on the screen, 0817-962-4696. The number you get to call, I'll call it again for you, 0817-962-4696. So looking at the polity, looking at the whole arrangement from the People's Democratic Party, this same, with the whole process of the elections, it is believed that there were allegations. Remember that towards the beginning part of all this, we had people come to the studio to allege that the forms were bought in wholesale, and they alleged that the governor handed the forms over to these persons, people that he believes would run or should run for the election. And the other ones who went to Abuja to buy their forms because they obviously didn't find anywhere to get forms from, were also played out according to their claims, that they were played out during the screening, where some of them were shuffled out technically based on not qualifying for any one reason or the other. And it's still those people who the governor gave forms to that also scaled through the primary processes from the House of Assembly to the House of Rep. So who he didn't want didn't succeed.
This is politics, but in as much as it's politics, it should be fair. If we're practicing true democracy, politics should be fair. I mean, if someone should buy the form or want to run for any position, they should give the free hand to go for it. Because if you're strong enough and you happen to emerge the winner, then you run. But if you don't and you want to run, you have the money, pick the form, and it should be allowed, it should be free, it should be fair. Anointing one person as a success based on that's alleged to officially is not said. It's not really beautiful, I would say. It is not.
Well, if you also look at it, could it just be like a constitutional thing that they need to touch the Electoral Act again? Because the Electoral Act, as amended by the National Assembly, around, I think it was signed by the president around February or March, and inside there are three kinds of way each party can run their election. Consensus is part of it.
Okay.
That is to say that technically there's nothing the governor is doing wrong, because you have three methods that can be used, and that can be agreed, though not by one person, but by a collection of the executive. So let's say, for instance, the National Working Committee that came into River State to conduct this together with the ESCOs of the party, talking about the party chairman, the leader of the party, which of course we know the leader of the party in River State is here some week. You know, they can actually agree that, see, we're going to have a consensus, and yes, they'll call people together. But even at that, everybody has to agree. Everybody has to sign a withdrawal that yes, we're stepping down for this. Only then can you have a true consensusship. That's where you have a consensus candidate. However, in a situation where it is imposed and it is met with opposition or disagreement from within the system, it cannot be said to be a consensus election. We have the consensus kind of election, we have the indirect election, and then we have the direct election. Well, I don't think we're ever going to have direct anyways for these parties. It's going to be very rare to see that happen.
It sure can happen.
It can happen, yeah. Someday it can happen, but right now, like they should allow everybody just go there, and then the A4 method of voting, where from the wards,
just
election will take, people will line up. Once you're a party member, you line up and then you would vote. Oh gosh, that would be too transparent for the, I don't know, I pray we ever get to that point where elections are held like that. So these are the major topic in River State at this time, and Farada Gogo is still held in, of course, the custody of the correctional center right here in Port Harcourt, and this is going to make him actually being there tomorrow almost impossible unless there's a miracle today. I'm not aware if he's having a hearing today. I don't know, I need to check that out. But if he's not around, that means tomorrow he will not be physically present, and he will not also be on the ballot.
And his name, it's not there.
That is what the claim is saying. But you can just be seeing magic. Who knows?
You never can tell. Tomorrow you might get there, you see his name at the box there, and people file.
It can just be a magic. You know, everything is possible. Everything is possible.
In
you know.
Nigeria.
But well, the High Court in Abuja has said. Justice Taiwo has said that the PDP and the INEC will need to interpret to them or explain to them why his name was omitted in that particular list. Okay, so you can call in and let us know your opinion this morning on this headline news that we're looking at. And of course, if you have any comment based on this reality that there might be a consensus candidate for the PDP. And you know, people that have, and then of course, news also coming in this morning has it that the governor has also dissolved his executive cabinet. He has dissolved it, and well, he's saying that they've all worked well. The question would be, how would it be a standstill in governance from now till the next 1 year? or would he be appointing new state ESCO members? We don't know how that may go, but let me just go ahead and read that release. And this one says it's coming from the Rivers State government. It's a special information. Rivers State Governor Nyesom Ezenwo-Wike has dissolved the State Executive Council with effect from Tuesday, May 24, 2022. And it says the Chief of Staff to the Governor and the Senior Special Assistants Protocol have also been relieved of their office. Well, the Chief of Staff has served received from the first tenure of the Governor, Emeka Woke. He was a former local government chairman of Emohua local government area. He is also inclusive in this, and the Governor Nyesom-Wike commended the members of the River State Executive Council for their service and contribution to the development of the state. He has also wished them the best in all their future endeavors. Why now is the question. I mean, this is the first time a governor gets to dissolve. I mean, from the history. I mean, I've been quite around reporting for a while in River State, and we don't have such situations where the governor dissolves cabinets a year before election. We've never really had that.
Well, dissolving, I've not heard this though. This is like the first, like you said, before election, dissolving the panel before dissolving his cabinet before election. It's thanking them for a job well done and wishing them well in their next
when they still have 1 full year to go.
So I'm just wondering who's going to fill the seat? Why vacating them for?
That's what we don't know. But just hear fresh announcements tomorrow that there are new people. Yeah, 1 year is enough to cause impact. That's a whole 365 days. It's enough to do something if you're infused there. Well, this is to say that maybe because, you know, from the beginning part of his politicking this period, he had actually said that he doesn't want his commissioners to be involved in anything political.
Oh, he said that.
And maybe that might not be going well too, because maybe they are still secretly doing what he had. Because how can you say that people who were politicians, the reason you must have made them commissioners is because they were involved somehow in your own election. They participated in one way or the other. And these are people who have constituencies, who have wards, who have people who have, of course, who have before they became commissioner, they were still in the political picture. So asking them to not be involved in politicking at all is like grossly something that might seem impossible to do. You know, because basically these are people who were politicians before now. So you cannot just ask a politician to stop politicking. That would be somehow, you know.
Giving them a position and at the same time tying their hand behind their back for them not to do anything. It's...
Well, basically these people have constituents. They have people around them. They have people who they can support. And some of them, maybe for instance, Bumaya is the Commissioner of Sports and he still went ahead. Despite that, he still went ahead.
He's still working.
Yes, he still went ahead to get the governorship form. He's in the race as well. He's going to be running the primary. That's if they do not align with the governor's rumored anointed candidate for the party. If they don't follow suit with that, well, this might be best for the commissioners, because now you have the liberty to participate in politics. Because that was really not. I didn't find it quite democratic.
It's like they're just better named politicians, but they weren't doing what they were meant to do at some point because of the state where they find themselves in. So freeing them up for 1 year, they can actually do politics in their own way. It will be better for them too. And also, if it's going to anoint other people to run for 1 year, 1 year, like you said, is enough for someone to make impact in the society.
Well, at this point, they would not be able to run for anything because it's too late. You know, so I mean, if those of them who didn't run, who didn't take the bull by the horn like Bumaya did, don't have any chance to do that. They will also just be up for appointment, perhaps by the next administration if the PDP wins in River State. That's just what it is for them. So I mean, relieving them right now means that he could just appoint new people to oversee these ministries, or perhaps the permanent secretaries will oversee the ministries for the next 1 year before the handover, which will bring in the new government and then of course new ESCOs into B. So you have the number on the screen. What is your take on this matters, and what is going on around the environment that you do not seem to like? Yesterday was horrible. The rains fell, and I got to realize that, you know, the roads might look fine, but when it rains, everything just looks different. Everything looks different when it rains. Like I'm asking, is it For 1 minute, Oddly Road changed in my eyes. I'm like, where am I? Somebody should help me. My car was swimming. Like, it was horrible. Like, it went almost like took over my engine, like went really high, and it's actually a 4-wheel drive, so it was horrible for me. I'm like, when are we going to get it right? You go to Lagos, it's the same thing. If you rain to the Lekki area, I can understand Lagos because those areas were sand-filled, they were all waterlogged before now.
Okay.
I'm talking about the island. You don't have flooding in mainland.
No, you don't have flooding in mainland.
In the island. In the island, you have flooding. Aja, Lekki, and all that. But you talk about river states. Even areas that were dry land before now still have flooding issues.
Speaking of flooding, even when it comes to river state, I think it's a structure. Some of those engineers that construct the road, do we even have good drainage system to start with? Now, where do water pass through when it's raining? Most of our drainages is blocked with garbage, which we know waste. And some persons just litter the road. You feel that pure water trash you trash and the gutter. You think at some point it's going to dissolve on its own. It takes years for such stuff to dissolve into the soil, like more than 20 years, based on research from the Chinese. So, and even our road constructors, there are lots they're not putting in place. Like a friend of mine was calling the daughter yesterday that if you're coming, please avoid that Waja road, just take another route because there's nothing to write them about and your car might sink. But this is what should be put into consideration before developing or building a road in a state like this.
Especially in states where you have some kind of, there are areas where you have water passing, like the Waja area. It used to be water, there used to be a river there, and right now they've covered it up. We look at the Eastern Bypass, there used to be a river right there. It's been sand-filled, so somehow the water must have a passage. So talking about why you're busy sand-filling, create a channel for this water to pass through. And then, find in their structural plan for this route, some of them actually do underground drainages where the water finds its way under, so you're on the road but you're not seeing the drainage, but there's actually drainage passing there through. So what happens to such environments? Sometimes you have the sand filling up such drainages, so it's, if you want to do an underground drainage, you have to really have done environmental assessment. Of course, there must be a proper plan on how this thing can have easy flow and all that. So it goes from environmental assessment for all roads. Whenever they want to construct a road, I think they should call in people who are knowledgeable in environmental assessment to look at this environment. Is this road going to work here? If it rains, how is it going to look like? Is there a need for a drainage here? And if there's going to be a drainage, how do we wire it? Everywhere was flooded yesterday. Not very few roads were exempted, I can bet you. Or even as you look at Olu Obasanjo gets flooded.
It gets flooded sometimes when the rain is heavy. I'm
telling you. So even areas where you're thinking, GRA gets flooded when it rains.
GRA is not exempted.
Yeah, it gets flooded when it rains. So there's a particular road on GRA that's called the Amechi Drive. All right? And that road, when it rains, you don't even dare to go there. Don't even try it. Don't try it. Because I know that there are some what they call, there are drainages around there, like what they call it, interwoba flow. I think there's a route that takes water out. So when that place gets filled up, you just notice that because it overflows on the road. Okay, so we'll take a break at this juncture. When we come back, remember that you can call in and be a part of the discussions this morning. Today, we're looking at you being a part of governance. What is your take on this matters being discussed? We looked at, of course, the politics in the River State. We've looked at, of course, the issue of flooding, which has seemed to be a problem even with the past government. Why are they not getting it right? Tell us what happens in your area when it rains, how bad it can be, and we even appreciate it if you can actually paint the picture in such a way that we'll be able to understand how badly it is. We'll take a break on Good Morning Port Harcourt. When we come back, the show continues. Stay with us.
With a gradual lifting of COVID-19 restrictions across the country, life seems to be returning to something close to normal. But is it really? The coronavirus is still out there and remains deadly and highly contagious, and only too willing to strike again and again And again, do not drop your guard. Maintain good personal hygiene, avoid overcrowded places, and more significantly, get vaccinated. Remember, it's never over till it's completely over. This is a message from the Silverbird Group.
Okay, welcome back to Good Morning Port Harcourt. We just wanted to be sure that the lines are okay. I mean, so that you can get to have access to calling. And you know, sometimes the calls come in at the same time, and sometimes it gets jammed. Okay, well, you can actually get to calling. We have another number there. We have a number for you to get a calling. We have two numbers now, just in case the other number is not going through. You can get to ring the other number that is on the screen right there. Can you call the numbers for them?
Okay, 0803-252-0547. 0803-252-0547. Then you can call the other number 081-796-24696. 017-962-4696.
Okay, so let's get your call. And what's your take on this topics that are making the round at this time? There are strong allegations that the PDP might be heading for some internal crisis. The last time it was the APC, and eventually we had almost like a one-party run the election, though we had the AAC on the ballot anyways, but they came in almost at the dying minute, so it seemed as though the people were just left with the choice of PDP or PDP. You know, so and this time around, we also have the thing about this time around is that it looks like the both ways. It seems to be
and PDP. It's like they're having the same problem at the same time.
Well, it looks like they're trying to agitate the fact that one person wants to decide who's going to be governor, you know, and one person wants to decide who takes what. And they're saying that's not possible. You know, and then they also go to the PDP now. The PDP that has seemed to be, you know, quite obedient to the leader, like follows everything. And this time around, we hear that it might not be going down well with everyone. Looking, of course, Farah going, of course, to court to ask for clarification on why he should be exempted, because they are not saying anything. Why, on what ground am I being exempted? Hello, good morning. Hello. Hello, good morning. Hello. Okay, please try to call in. We have both numbers now, just in case the other number is having issues, and then you can get to calling.
Sure. Well, for the Farah Dagogo issue, I feel his pain wherever he is. I know he's actually at the correctional center, but your name not being enlisted and people can't even vote for you. Though we're not sure, because tomorrow miracle might just come up. You never can know. He might just come up, but at the same time, I'm trying to put myself in his shoe and to know how he's feeling, that he's losing on both ends. He's here serving what he doesn't know what he's doing.
He's not serving yet.
Okay, he's not serving yet. He's just there. He's not chilling at the same time.
Well,
he's
going
where he
through
doesn't have his
stress,
rights. He's going through a lot of psychological trauma. And on the other hand, he's not sure if his name is going to be out tomorrow for people to even vote for him. So that's it.
Hello. Hello, good morning. Hello. All right, please, when you're calling, now this is how it rolls, because most times we notice that when your call is picked by the technical crew, you wait to hear the voices of the people in the studio, and then once you hear a male pick the call, that's a technical. They will answer your call and it will be channeled to the studio so that we can have a smooth flow. We can't be picking the calls right on air. So this calls are answered from the technical unit. So you know, when you call into the show, please give us at least 2-3 seconds for your call to be handed over to the studio so that we can get to talk. And then once you hear the prompting voice from the studio, you know that you're on live with us, and then you can go on with your contribution. All right, so you just get to call the numbers again for them so that they can get to be, because we have just
call us on 081-796-24696, 081-796-24696, and the other is 0803-252-0547.
Hello, good morning. Hello.
Hello, how are you?
Very well, good morning and welcome to Good Morning Port Harcourt. What's your name, where you're calling from?
Ataiku calling from.
Okay, go on.
The issue of the solution of the ESCO is not a news. The Governor Wike has really tried to put them on the table for so many years. I wonder why they remain there for quite a long time. Considering the interest of the people and those who are politicians who actually work that deserve to be appointed to such enviable positions. So, however, I know the permanent secretary of the various ministries will take charge. So that is not a problem. But talking about the issue of Dagogo, I don't know the exactly case that led to his own arrest and detention. He has right to contest. Besides, he has got the nomination form. Why would Governor Wike treat him like that? PDP, is it a personal affair? Everybody has right to vote and to be voted. And being a member of such a political party, and he has interest to go further as a governor, he should be allowed to participate. You see? Considering yesterday rain, it was really very, 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 a lot of people really suffered it, including me. I was trapped in the rain. However, I drove myself into the flood area along even the street in the Port Harcourt township area.
So Port Harcourt township was also flooded,
The government attention is not drawn to Port Harcourt township area, and as such, the people in that neighborhood are really suffering. Bad roads and bad drainage, and to mention but a few.
It's okay. Thank you very much for calling in so we can get to take other calls. You've done well. You've contributed on basically everything we've talked about today. He actually made a valid contribution that the governor has allowed the commissioners to be around for quite a while, and then it's okay. Some of them have served 2 tenures. Some of them were there with him on the first tenure. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, I want to contribute to this flooding of 18.
Okay.
The government is not looking the part of this bed to open.
What's your name, please? Your name and where you're calling from. Your name and where you're calling from, please.
I'm calling from Wundu. My name is Zoinbi.
Okay.
This creek that is coming out from the waterside to PZ, there is a creek there. The creek has blocked. Every people have built houses all over there. So this program, it seems the government is not listening to this program. People are calling because if rain falls here, all the houses around here is flooding. People are building their house. They are suffering. So please let the governor come and open the creek. It's not gutter, it's a creek.
Okay, so you're saying people have illegally built houses on these creeks? They have reclaimed it and some fielded it and they are building on it
and living.
Well, some of them have government approval. We don't know whether what they are building are illegal. We'll need to, take this call, please.
Hello. I will ask that.
Okay, let's see if we can take 2 more calls. Because sorry, I think we should have done the both numbers earlier on so that they can call in. Sorry that we're almost at the end lap. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, good morning. Okay, I think the lines are jamming.
This time around. Hello.
Okay. All right, let's see if we can take 1 more call and then we'll call it a day. All right, hello, good morning. You're the last call on the show. What's your name, where you're calling from, and your contribution?
Hello?
Hello, good morning. Go on, your life.
Yeah, this is Okaki.
Okay, go on. You have you have about 30 seconds.
About the removal of the test scores, not in news, just what are they doing? They are doing nothing in the office. They're just like that in the office. So that's not the news. It's better for them now to go and rest and think what to do for their life down, being roasted in that place as commissioners. So it's better for them for now. Then about the flooding, that is a dangerous thing for rivers people. All the manhole has been filled with sand. So how can people away? And the image is not well planned. And government not even trying to think about it. So what do we say?
So it is a problem to Rivers State. We don't know if incoming government can think what to do to put Rivers State in order. We're in a mess. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Okay, hello, good morning. Your name, where you're calling from, and your contribution. Make it very quick. You have 20 seconds.
Hello, good morning this morning.
Yes, good morning.
Yeah, my name is Juan. I'm from about 8 days.
Okay.
Go on.
Yeah, I want to speak on the issue of Canada. You know, we are going to court to challenge the CDP. Yeah, I want to say this categorically that if somebody is saying assassination, this should allow him to defend. He's able to confess. Why is he able to answer? We should allow him to confess for this nation. If he wins, let him win. Let him say. Issue opportunity in the government this year. I don't like what my leader is doing. It's very unfortunate in this country. Very unfortunate. The man who projected the state I want to conduct an election. And I would never use the answer. Does it make any sense?
It's okay. Thank you so much. We have to quote it at this point. It's time to round off on the show. All right, well, that's the much you can take. I will see you tomorrow on the same station, same time. This is Good Morning Port Harcourt, and my name is Deborah Balama.
And I am Bariswa Christian. Do have a great day.
Okay, well, what is that your name again? Yes, okay. I think we'll be needing that your vibes in this our office.
What are we talking about? That is what you need. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. So I'm going to offer you the job. You know, I wouldn't like anyone from my place to